how does one face death, which is an inevitable part of life?
Joining us in the studio is a life doula or end-of-life coach who found her mission after surviving her own battle with cancer. Please welcome Charity Marohombsar. Welcome, Charity.
Hi, Charity.
Thank you. Finally, for
Finally,
you.
I know
Thank
you were supposed to come on last week, but
Yes.
I begged and I requested that I be here to talk to
Thank
you
you,
because
thank you.
oh no, I'm gonna start the waterworks already.
No, this may be a difficult conversation for some, especially
Yes.
people going through
Yes,
something with their
because
families
this
as
is very
well.
close to my heart because my mom was afflicted with cancer, and unfortunately she passed away. And I started what's happening. And
So
I did a
sorry.
live doula, but the thing is, you know, the journey that cancer patients and their support teams are completely different.
Yes.
You've got the warrior who's fighting the battle,
True.
and the support team also is fighting their own battle,
Yes.
which is trying to make sure that the loved one survives, and that's completely two different stories.
Two different stories, two different needs.
Yes, that's why we wanted to talk to you, Maya and I wanted to talk to you about what exactly is a life doula.
Okay. Doula is an old word. It was formerly used by birth doulas.
Yes.
So a doula is a nurturer. In the olden times, they help women get pregnant, take care of them when they're pregnant, and even after birth.
Or during, actually.
Yeah,
yeah.
during and dealing with all the emotions that a pregnant woman goes through. So when I was, my coach, Kimi Lu, our good
Yes,
friend,
our friend, yeah.
I was telling her this is what I want to do, and we coined the word life doula.
Yes.
A life doula is someone who, in my case, takes care of a cancer warrior, but I also include in the care the love giver.
Yeah.
The families are
families.
taking care, but because, as Freddie said, it's a totally different need, right? So a life doula, as a life doula, I help patients navigate with their cancer journey. I also become sometimes the health executor, especially for older people with no families around. I go with them in doctor's visit to ask the right questions, right? Because when you are going, I went through this myself, when you're going through your own journey, everything's a blur. You know, the doctor's talking, you can't even absorb what's happening. So having a life doula with you, you're able to ask the right questions.
Right.
And I debrief the patient and the families. So that's one of the services of a life doula. And in the whole journey, people go through grief,
Yes.
right? They grieve for the life that before the diagnosis.
It is a long
Or
process.
a lot of times for those at the terminal stage, they experience anticipatory grief.
Yeah.
Both for the warriors and for the families.
You are such a gift because, you know, I have to be honest, it's the first time I've heard there is an end-of-life coach. And I can imagine what gift you are to those families going through something. And like Ferdy said, like the mission is different for families, no?
Yes.
Like they want
They want the best for,
yes, they want
for their
loved one to
one.
survive. But then
Yes.
the one afflicted with a terminal illness might want to go peacefully in
Yes.
his or her own terms with as much grace and ease as possible.
dignity.
Dignity.
Yes.
And dignity.
Yeah.
Yes.
And dignity.
But did you know, Mai, that Charity of Cam and I were chatting? She was a corporate warrior before becoming a life doula. But as I mentioned a while ago, 70 chemo rounds.
Yes.
How did you handle that
I don't.
physically?
I honestly, really by God's grace, because I had to work. The cost of my chemotherapy was just off the charts. And if I couldn't work, how will I be able to pay?
Afford, yeah.
And for you know this, I am blessed that I was working with a very good family, a conglomerate. I always say I was blessed that I was diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic breast cancer. I was with the Aboitiz Group, one of the best employers in the country. They allowed me to work, but they also balanced my schedule. So on Fridays, while everyone's saying, hey, you know, thank God
Friday.
it's Friday,
Yeah.
it's my healing day. That's the perspective I adopted. So Friday is healing day. I end my meetings at 3. Sometimes I continue it in the hospital, meeting with my team, and then chemo starts, and then the next 7 days will be a blur because you don't know where the pain is coming from in your body. But I would work, except probably on the 3rd or 4th day when I really have to just be in bed. You know? So that's why I decided
Right.
to leave corporate, because I saw a lot of things that needs to be done in the cancer space.
So during your cancer journey, you're a cancer warrior, a survivor, but during that journey, as you're battling this disease, when did you realize that you have a calling to be a life doula?
You know, ironically, when I was undergoing my own treatment, my first session was in the ambulatory. In the ambulatory, there's about 20 cubicles. And I realized that people go through this alone. No? The hospitals only allow sometimes one. Yung iba walang kasama. So I said, what am I gonna do? 6 hours of infusion. So, pakialamera ako eh. So I said to the head nurse, how many people here have no companion? Sabi niya, ma'am, siguro mga 60%. So I told my doctor, I have 6 hours. I would hop from one cubicle to another. Just, you know, I was already bald, so they know I'm a patient. I have the IV drip, so they know I'm getting treatment. And I would say, can I sit with you? And no one has turned me down. And I said, sure. And one question lang, I asked them, how are you really? Ayan na. Iyak, you know, it's nobody asked me that question. I'm going through a lot. I cannot sleep. All the what ifs. And so there I realized that the gap in the healthcare system, and for no fault of anyone, is very disease-centric. Everyone talks about the tumor. Bernie's tearing up. I'm so sorry.
I know, because it's hard to think that a loved one feels so lonely going through this.
Yes.
And it's hard for me to accept that.
Yes, and I'm sorry, I'm going to make you cry even more. The warrior going through it sometimes does not even think of themselves.
No, they don't.
They think of their family.
Yeah.
And there's no age, no time that you'll say, oh, okay na, pwede nang hindi. I mean, especially if the warrior is a mother, they would still think of their children.
Being
not
a
them.
mother.
Oh my
yes.
God, yeah.
So, ganun pala talaga, no? Even if there are family members around you giving all their support, pero you, like, as someone battling cancer, you're still alone.
Oh, yes.
No?
Yes. You know what's my peak hour for coaching and counseling? At night. When everyone's asleep, when it's only them and their thoughts. I would get a lot of rescue calls saying, please call me, I'm having a panic attack. Because
And that's why
everyone's
you don't
asleep.
wake up early.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because it's during the evening that the anxiety settles in.
It's when their minds would go like to all these scenarios,
Yes,
yung
the what
anxiety
ifs.
kicks in, no, and the fears are settling in
The
sa gabi.
uncertainty. Because they try to put a strong front in front of their loved ones. And when they're gone, they're asleep, that's when they deal with their own dark thoughts, what ifs, what if I don't make it?
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of families would say, don't tell my mom how serious the illness is.
Yeah.
But I have something for you. They know. But they know their body.
Even the burden of the cancer patient thinking about, oh my gosh, what's the cost to my loved
Yes,
ones? Of course,
They look at themselves as burden.
Yeah. What's the most difficult part of terminal ill patients or those patients that are that have contracted the disease at their twilight? How do you
It's the hardest part is, as I said, there's never a good time to say goodbye, right? And 90% of my patients who are terminally ill would say, I wish I have a little bit more time, just months to spend with my family. So time with family is the most important. Nobody has ever told me, I wish I can close another deal or something.
Yeah.
No,
Can you imagine?
it's really time
It's the
with
time.
family.
Yeah.
Time
What
with
is the most eye-opening for you, having talked to or having held the hand of someone who is facing the fact that he or she is dying?
That, to me, this is a lesson, and this is why I do what I do. That they wish they lived a full life. So that's really my message. Breast Cancer Awareness Month, have yourself checked, but continue to live. That's why, we have a shared passion for D&I, and we really have to be able to empower patients to live a full life. And that's why the treatment approach has to be holistic. I mean, modern medicine, thank you, yay, there's so much advancement, but there has got to be other ways of supporting the patient's body emotionally, mentally, nutritionally, and even other modalities that Ferdy and I have been talking about.
Yes, but of course, we have a lot to still talk about here on the Daily Dish with Charity. We'll be right back after this quick break. Still with us is Charity Marohombsar, and there's not a dry eye in the studio.
It's like the
today.
floodgates have been opened.
Yes,
like the
yes,
tears
because
are coming.
yeah, mine now has recalled
No.
her best friend
Because
also.
I think everyone has dealt with cancer, like somebody you lost,
Yes.
diba? Somebody,
Yes.
a loved one, a friend.
Yeah, and
mean,
of
so-
course, one of our producers, Miss Gigi, also who went through this a year and a half ago. This is why I'm taking the emotions back. This is why you're so important. I'm sure you have had your fair share of, dealing with what you're looking at right now.
Yes.
Because how hard is it for you to absorb this or even expel emotions that are being thrown towards you?
I have my own coach.
Yeah.
I do my own clearing, emotional regulation, because it's hard not to be attached, especially because I'm a very high empath.
Yeah.
So I cannot just say, this is just a case, this is just a patient. No. I make sure I find out what kind of support the patient needs. And a lot of times it's me taking them to the hospital, especially if they're elderlies. Or if they're scared to go through their test, I go with them. That's part of journeying with them.
Right. But
But-
also, I mean, it's not all about death, folks, okay?
Yes.
Because there are a lot of
Survivors.
survivors and beautiful stories that stem from
Yes.
your journey with them.
Yes,
So,
yes.
of course, those people who are just going through after being diagnosed, how do you deal with that emotion? How do you prepare them to be stronger emotionally? Prepare for their chemo sessions and what they should be expecting.
Yeah, well, every phase of the cancer journey, I'm there. When I catch them at the beginning, I make sure we do a prehabilitation, like what to expect in the journey, what things they need to do to prepare the household.
Yeah.
Like make sure everyone's checked, no one has respiratory issues, because when the patient starts chemotherapy, the patient is immunocompromised,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So prepare, and then if possible, I work with other doctors, like functional medicine doctors, to also
Like
help
Dr.
them.
Oye Balburias.
Yes, to help them prepare their body for chemotherapy. And even after, because, we always say chemo is like a carpet bombing your whole body. So you also have to rebuild again the body. So part of my work is to also refer or connect them to the right doctors to help them replenish whatever they've
Nutrition
lost.
is very crucial.
Food is medicine. Food is medicine. It's part of the recovery of cancer.
We have to stop eating like bad stuff.
I know.
Mari.
No, but are we more open, like as Filipinos, families now dealing with somebody who's terminally ill, are we now more open of
It really
talking
depends
about
on the
death,
age,
facing
right?
it with dignity?
The older generation are still a little bit close, but it's normally the families, the younger generation who reaches out to me.
So it's no longer taboo.
It's no longer taboo, but death still is. Like, even if it's very evident already, there's progression. And, timing is key on how to tell them, I think we need to prepare the patient, right? And I really empower the patient by asking, how do you want to spend the last months or years of your life? I think that's a very important question.
Is it only for cancer that you deal with this? Or?
I also help what we call the frail adults, those who are old and they're really just getting sick. I come in as an end-of-life doula, preparing the patient and the families, because death is sacred. It can be beautiful if we prepare for it, right?
It can be beautiful.
So our own Chalon Talk has helped me launch a program called Tender Hearts.
That's Child Rosario for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she helped me launch Tender Hearts. It's really for end-of-life care. It's from preparing your advance directives, meaning all your medical wishes. So if you want to be able to honor them, prepare them early. And for those who are very open, we even do life celebrations. So death doesn't have to be so sad, because if you are prepared, if the patient is prepared, we can really uplift and curate the end of life.
I went to a memorial of a friend. It was a party. There was a DJ. There was dancing. Yes, because they wanted to celebrate his life, remember him as a happy party person.
Yes.
Right? So it's not, death shouldn't be, like they said, about
be morbid
mourning or sadness.
Yeah.
It's about remembering the one that you loved as they were.
And
I think I should put that on my wishes, when the time comes, and not the near future.
In a very, very distant future.
Very, very distant. I'm gonna put there, if you cry, I will make you multo. So, and if you wear the wrong outfit, I'll make you multo.
Or there's a jar, like there's a fine, you put your penalty.
Jar.
I have clients na they say no white or black in my funerals, only colored outfits.
Yes.
No crying, bring wine. And I had to set up something like that because she was a cheese and wine person. So, and on the second night, we had a lounge singer singing in the funeral parlor. And we had to deck the whole area. It looked like a lounge.
Yeah, so my friends, prepare. If you're watching, my friends, be sure that you're going to be drinking a copious amount of tequila. Yeah.
Charity, do you also talk to someone who may be open about planning her own memorial? Do you talk to people like that?
That's so wild. I mean,
no, because
to me, it's not taboo.
No, because I want to plan my own.
Like what?
As early as maybe now.
Yeah, but of course, for the very distant future.
Yes. But I want.
Like, what are your wishes? I want to know.
Like for example, something as tiny, like a tiny detail, like the music that you will play.
Yes.
Or
we do that. I do that.
How the setup will be, how you welcome friends.
Like what song? Please don't tell me never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
What songs?
Pwedeng ganon.
Yes, I want to plan it.
And even there is what we call Swedish death clean.
What's that?
Swedish death clean is a phase in the dying process where the patient who's going to die. Di ba normally sa atin, after the person dies, the things are given away by the relatives.
Yes.
This one, the person prepares.
Packages for everyone?
I had to bring in people to pack and make it look like a gift.
Like her own things?
Yeah.
Are your own little pamana siguro?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
To your
Sorry,
loved
guys.
ones?
You cannot expect that. I'm taking my jewelry with me to my grave. Like the pyramids. Okay?
Yes, but to answer your question, yes, I do that with patients.
Wow, interesting.
And not even patients. People who are just ready to talk about it.
But okay, since you're on, how do people that, that want to have a conversation with you reach you?
A lot of my patients reach out to me through my Instagram and through Better Days Wellbeing. That's my community. 90% of my patients just message me and say, I have this, I want to talk to you about this. So the first part is really a discovery call to find out if I can help them and if they want to work
You have
with me.
refused people.
Yes.
Because of what reason?
Faith is really part of what I do. So praying is part of what I do. Praying with, right? And if they say, I don't want to talk about religion, I don't want to talk about spirituality, I still say it's not religion, it's spirituality. But if they really don't want to, to me,
You
there's
can't
only
help them with that, yeah.
And I refuse patients if the family members is the one engaging me and the patient is not open. Meaning I don't have the mandate from the patient, then I say no. Even if the family says, I'll double your rate. But if the patient himself does not want to work with me, I don't think I can help. So I say no to that. Even if the family says, sige na, take. No, I say no.
Charity, we need more people like you, life doulas. So are we training end-of-life coaches?
Thank you
Because
for
There's gonna be
this
more
needs a
few.
lot of.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. I'm launching actually my certification program because I'm opening a hospice next year because we don't have a formal hospice.
Yes, we don't. It's very surprising.
Yeah, we
no?
have homes that are converted into hospices, but they are not real facilities. I went to this hospice in Kawamura. It's a hospice in Japan.
Okay.
And anywhere in the room of the patient, they see Mount Fuji.
Wow.
So, and anywhere they go, they have their own garden. In the morning, they're wheeled out in the garden and they spend time there. And instead of a very anesthetic environment, it's very warm. So during the day, you will hear rooms with sound bath.
Yeah.
You will hear rooms with violins. And
Imagine for the terminally ill patients there, instead of like a bleak scenario,
Yes.
a bleak environment.
That's
It could
beautiful.
be very healing as well every day.
the nurses were even saying, after 3 months, because you only get admitted to the hospice when the doctors say in 3 months' time you're gonna go, right? But because the environment
They
is
extend. Amazing.
and they're asked to leave because they're not yet dying.
You're
They're
like,
not
go
dying.
home.
Yes.
So we need something like that here.
That's
That's what
what
she's
we're
setting
planning
up.
to build. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right, I wish we had a whole other hour for
Thank you
Charity.
so much
We
for
have a
having me.
last question because we always have to ask this question. If you have a billion pesos, what would you do with it?
I'll probably set up a hospital and a halfway house for cancer patients. We have a lot of kababayans from the provinces. And you know where they sleep before they see their doctors? At the bus terminals. If I have billion pesos, I'd spend it on facilities that will elevate and make it a little better for cancer patients.
and make treatment accessible
Yes.
also. No?
So take note, people with the extra $1 billion. Take notes from Charity. Be guilty.
Thank you so much for having this
Thank you,
conversation
my
with
dear.
us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for flooding her eyes this morning.
Thank you.
All right.